Please join me in welcoming Dr. Michele Wright.
Thank you so much for those of you who are excited about their success speaker. I just want to let you know we have books available afterwards if you want to get your own personal autographed copy. And I also have surveys that we'll be handing out to you as soon as I complete today's presentation. So if you could take a second to fill those out, then I would much value your feedback. But how's everybody doing? Can you get a little more excited than this? This is the Capital City Kiwanis Club. How you doing? Well, good afternoon, distinguished presidents, officers, board of directors, esteemed members, and guests of the Capital City Kiwanis Club. I must honestly say that I was much honored and most appreciative when Maurice Mitchell extended the invitation for me on behalf of your most valued and respected Kiwanis Club to speak at today's luncheon. And needless to say, this is an invaluable opportunity in your organization's life to individually reflect on your successes as members of the Capital City Kiwanis Club, while collectively celebrating your countless and most notable achievements as a club that was founded in October of 1954, with a mission of helping your community and giving children everywhere better lives and higher standards of living through your service programs. So who am I? I am success expert Michele Wright, who is here today all the way from the natural state of Arkansas, and I am pleased to be joined by my loving husband, Terry G. Wright, alongside my supportive parents, Frankie and Colin Wise, as well as Miss Barbara Howard, all the way from Tuskegee. But who am I really? What words of wisdom can I speak on this most blessed Monday, June 8th afternoon to your most notable organization? Simply put, I am a person who knows a person with a most unique testimony of defying the odds. This particular individual was born and raised in the historical town of Tuskegee, Alabama. As a toddler, her mother was told that her child had a serious learning disability and an extensive, severe speech impediment. To make matters worse, the doctor labeled this child as slow and special. Although the physician had his particular definition of special, so did this child's parents. Instead of accepting that their child was slow, they instead saw their precious one as gifted and proceeded to raise and treat them accordingly. As a consequence, this particular person was able to attend Tuskegee University on a full four-year engineering scholarship, graduating with high honors and electrical engineering student of the year, further their education at the University of Tennessee Space Institute, graduating as the first full-time African-American student to earn a Master of Science degree in engineering management. And although they were diagnosed with life-threatening lupus over 15 years ago, they are thankful to God for life and the endurance to push forward to receive their PhD in public policy from the University of Arkansas at Fayetteville, all while maximizing their opportunities, striving for excellence, and achieving success professionally over a 20-year span with reputable Fortune 500 companies, including Genentech Biotech Company, Novartis Pharmaceutical Corporation, Pfizer Pharmaceuticals, the Pillsbury Company, the Procter & Gamble Company, Honeywell, and Montgomery as a corporation. But most notably, having the gracious and most humble opportunity to serve as today's luncheon speaker for the capital city Kiwanis Club. Yes, I am that special child. I was special then and I am still special, but in an even more unique way. I share my personal testimony with you, not to boast, but to instead demonstrate that if success was achievable by me, then it is conceivable by success seekers from all diverse walks of life, such as the Montgomery Boys and Girls Club and the Young Children Priority 1. Needless to say that all of our youth are Priority 1. And this is clearly why it is imperative to have champions of success like wise parents, the right spouse, supporting mentors, loving kind role models, and the highly esteemed Capital City Kiwanis Club who can assist in one's personal and professional success journey. I am quickly and humbly reminded of how essential it is to have champions of success in our lives to help inspire us towards our own successes of life. I was very fortunate to have loving and wise parents who did not accept my perceived shortcomings as excuse for failure, and to have a devoted and God-fearing husband who graciously championed and supported my effort in every success endeavor. Needless to say, they empowered me to fervently strive to achieve my full success potential. This is why my personal motto is, if I can't move beyond that which I have already mastered, then I will never grow. And my personal life story is a direct testimony to moving beyond both the possible and the impossible. And this is one of the primary reasons I was more than empowered to write Dear Success Seekers, to help success seekers from all diverse walks of life move beyond the impossible to achieve unique advice, unique career, and a unique life. Dear Success Seeker is a book that has assembled success letters from a unique, diverse, and multicultural group of both famed and unfamed outstanding women achievers who offer words of inspiration and invaluable advice to those seeking victory in their own personal and professional success journeys. This Success Seeker also features an eloquent foreword by notable author, educator, philanthropist, producer, and wife of Bill Cosby, Camille Cosby, and an exclusive personal interview between myself and Gail King, whose radio show host of Oprah and Friends and the editor-at-large of Oprah magazine. But more importantly, the contributors to Dear Success Seekers provide great inspiration and invaluable advice to success seekers from a wide variety of backgrounds and talents who are striving to achieve optimal career and life success. And no doubt, the Capital City Kiwanis Club is doing more than your fair share to help the youth in your community to achieve not only optimal career and life success, but better lives and higher standards of living through your most notable services and programs including the Blue-Gray Basketball Project, the Smith Poundstone Needs-Based Scholarship Fund, the Charles M. Reed Merit Scholarship Fund, the Montgomery Boys and Girls Club Bicycle Rodeo and Kiwanis Olympic Field Day Annual Project, and the Reading is Fundamental Risk Project, to the name of youth. This is why, regardless of the things that may stand in the way, your club is helping to make America's youth be somebody someday. And for that, I both commend you and salute you. But remember that you must synergistically stay connected to yourself as a soon-to-be 55-year-old club who is applying the talents of officers, board of directors, and Kiwanis Club members to help the youth in your surrounding areas and communities to dare not lose sight of who they are and who they want to become. Needless to say, the Capital City Kiwanis Club executes with not only heartfelt passion and committed purpose, but a spirit of excellence. But to strive for excellence, one must establish meaningful relationships and occasionally look back. Look back to recognize how far you came since your establishment in October of 1954. Look back to remember those who helped along the way, such as active member T.O. and Hill, your club's first president, and those who blazed the trail you followed. My father, Donald Wise, instilled in me his personal perspective and quote, "If I have seen at all and done any actions worthwhile or made any contributions, it was because I appreciated, respected, and emulated the legacies of my forebears and was motivated enough to stand on their shoulders. This is why as the Capital City Kiwanis Club, you must reflect upon your past, it is your heritage, acknowledge the present, it is your responsibility, plan for the future, it is your challenge. And to conclude, as you both individually and collectively continue to reflect upon your past as to why the Capital City Kiwanis Club was initially founded in October of 1954, to acknowledge the present as to how the Capital City Kiwanis Club is meeting and exceeding their purpose to offer community service to benefit area youth and plan for the future as it pertains to the Capital City Kiwanis Club, ensuring that the future generations of youth seek and find success. Please fully know and understand that if you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you like to win, but you think you can't, it's almost a sense you want. If you think you lose, you lost. For out in the world we find success begins with the fellow's will, his all in a state of mind. If you think you outclass, you are. You got to think high to rise. You got to be sure of yourself before you ever can win the prize. Life battles don't always go to the stronger or faster man, but sooner or later the person who wins is the one who knows they can. Capital City Kiwanis Club, yes, you can. Thank you, and God bless. While my father is passing out surveys to everyone, we're going to open up the floor for questions. And please do not leave without having a unique opportunity to get your autograph. Look, you all have an advantage here today. Get one for you, get one for a friend, a loved one, a student graduate, because Oprah has been in contact with me. And you can say, hey, I had my book before I even saw her on Oprah. So we have the book right over here, and you can come acquire you one. So Maurice, let me thank you again for this wonderful opportunity. He called me Tuesday. He said, hey, I need you here this week. And I knew it was something special about him when I met him. And I just want to thank you again, as well as your peers and colleagues.
My pleasure to meet you. What did you find in common in all the letters from the successful women that wrote to you? What was there one or two very common elements?
One common thing that I saw is pursue your passion in life. Do what you love. And sometimes when you pursue your passion and you do what you love, sometimes you may not always get paid your worth for it, but it's still worthwhile. Do it in spite of. And that's one thing I'm learning. You know, Gail King said it, Billie Jean King said it, and there were several others. Probably about 15 women emphasized passion. Life is so short, and success is individual, so it has unique meanings to everyone. But you have to decide personally, professionally, and spiritually what does success mean to you. And once you define that, pursue it and go for it. You're never too late in life. When I told people after being an engineer for 10 years, I was going to go into sales, they thought I was insane. They like, you invested all this education in engineering. And I said, well, it had its window of opportunity, but now my passion is changing. So your passion may change on an ongoing basis. But Maurice, that was definitely the one thing that resonated. Pursue your passion and do what you love. Now you all have to make me feel special and ask me some questions.
Michele, thanks for being here with us. Tell us a little bit about your growing up years, a little bit more about yourself, if you don't mind.
Sure. I was raised in Tuskegee, Alabama, born at John Andrews, right on the campus of Tuskegee. My parents are here with me today, and my husband, as I mentioned earlier, so they were definitely solid support blocks in my life. My dad did not put up with a lot of foolishness. We could get over on Mom a little more. So he was all about the books and studying and getting down to business. He's also a mathematical genius, and I'm thankful for that because he passed a lot of that on to me. And it was just a wonderful opportunity to kind of tap into those things that I wanted to do. Actually, in high school, I kind of had some ideas about what I wanted to do, but was pretty unsure. I was thankful because my parents made me go volunteer year after year after year at the VA hospital. And let me tell you something, I know everybody in here knows this, but continue being champions of success in your loved one's life. They may not understand the value at that particular moment, they will years later. So going to the VA hospital is still credibility. Like Maury said, hey, you say you're going to be here, be here. I believe your word is your bond. It is still credibility, commitment, dedication, work ethic in me. But in high school, I still didn't exactly know what I wanted to do. And Daddy said, no problem, I'm going into engineering. I said, okay, well, engineering it is. And that was a wonderful choice because I tapped into my technical, mathematical skills, and plus it allowed me to learn about appreciating systems. Even being on the sales component in corporate America, you still have to have systems in place. And so I did engineering for about 10 years. Even when I was an undergraduate student, I would alternate back and forth going to Montgomery in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. And then when I was a master's student at the University of Tennessee Space Institute, I would alternate back and forth with Honeywell. Then I had the opportunity to come on as a top engineer with Procter & Gamble in Jackson, Tennessee, where I was had the opportunity to lead several major projects, multi-million-dollar projects. But again, my passion after a while changed, and I was ready to transition into sales. And that was difficult because I don't know how many people in here know engineers, but there's a stereotype that we're not people persons, and what would an engineer do selling? And I told him, I said, you know, I may be an engineer, but I love people and I can sell. And I want to tell you, it was very rewarding because I came in and won all the national awards. Back to back, year after year, I'm still winning them, and I'm kind of amazed. I wish I could go back and tell the engineers, hey, you were wrong, I can sell, but you know, we have to be humble and kind. You came up there. but maybe you all can tell me for me. So that's me in a nutshell. I love life, I love God, I love my family, I love my husband, and I love the Kiwanis Club. I see a lot of heads. Keep on coming.
Yes. What was your dissertation on, and how did you choose that subject? And the second part of the question for your husband was, how was the church family?
That's what you compliment comes from.
Go again.
He is a master chef. My dissertation was one that was the first time it had ever been done, and it's actually funny that you mentioned that. I never got that question, but it's something I hope to publish. I did a case study on African American CEOs at the women, African American women at the pinnacle of corporate America. There was only 15 of them at that level. And what was so interesting, when I contact one was head of Xerox, Dell Computer, Coca-Cola, IBM, when I contact them, they all said, no, we're not interested. And I was just devastated and dumbfounded. I said, well, it's only 15 of you. If you say no, I can't do this research. But I let you all in on the secret, and don't let this make you nervous. I'm a stalker. It's out in the open now. I feel free. But I tried about another 6 to 7 times getting these women and stalking them and stalking them and stalking them, to the point my dissertation committee chair said, change it, go for middle level. And I was like, all my life I've been unique. I don't do the low work. I don't want to do what anybody else would do. It won't just make it special. That's why I got to go and speak to the Capital City Kiwanis Club. It's special. And so eventually I got one to break. I believe it's the one that has Coca-Cola. When she broke, I used her name. I said, look, it's only 15 of you all at that point in the United States. Which ones do you know? She said, I know about 2 or 3. I contacted them and used her name, and I kept that process going, and I ended up getting 11 out of 15 women. And it's a one-of-a-kind dissertation, and when I get time and settle down, I look at getting that research published. Even outside of African American women, anybody interested in focusing on diversity, it has some invaluable information. And thank you for asking.
I love the inspiring point at the end. I'd like to get a copy of it and put it on my son's forehead.
Consider it done.
Obviously, it would be in your book.
No, it's not. I just have different unique things I incorporate in my speeches, but I got an extra copy I give to you before I leave.
Oh, thank you. I'll be up there.
And but you're going to have to buy a book. That's all I ask.
You're a stalker.
Yes, I'm a stalker. And I will harass you. Barbara, did you have a question?
I wanted to know if there are any women in the book from this area. I've already started responding.
We actually have Martha Hopkins. I don't know if any of you all had the opportunity, but I was featured on the morning show of Channel 12 WSFA a couple of weeks ago, Tuesday before last. So if you want to go to their website and visit, you get another little take from a different perspective. But Martha Hopkins is in the book, and I should have, Mama, would you grab me a book? She's in a book from Montgomery, Alabama, and she has a history. She is famous. She has a famous, internationally known restaurant. And if you bring me that black portfolio, I have one right in there. That'll be easier. She has a famous black, originally black-owned soul food restaurant that back in the civil rights age, thank you, she became famous with a lot of the civil rights leaders like Dr. Martin Luther King and those people. And now she offers diverse food for people from all walks of life. So if you get a chance, you definitely want to go see, 103. She's owner and operator of Martha's Place Restaurant and Catering. Has anybody visited? Oh.
She's been fantastic lately.
Oh, wonderful, so you know her
Oh,
personally?
yes, I know her family too, she's quite fantastic.
Okay, and we also have 4 people from Tuskegee, Alabama, but before I mention who they are, I was pleased to have Rosa Parks in the book. She gave me her words of wisdom before she died. I don't know if many of you know, but she was born in Tuskegee, Alabama, and has a history here in Montgomery. In Tuskegee, we have Barbara Danner, who's the head of the Alabama Manifesto. I have Lily Thomas, who was actually the first secretary to Dr. Martin Luther King. We have Major Carter, who was labeled to be the first female Tuskegee Airman. And then no other than the most important one of all, and I can ask her to stand, is my mom. My mom is a award-winning professional homemaker and cook. She cooks good. And an animal rights activist. So if any of you are into animal rights, see her before you leave, and she take all donations and stuff. Frankie Wise. Any other questions? All right, again, you all, it has been my pleasure. Please come to slow down. And that if you can collect them as they complete them. And again, if you're interested in a book, Ms. Howard, and we'll be over here getting these books ready for you. And I personally autograph it to you and anybody else you so desire. God bless you.